crypto market is almost at the same place, $1.1 trillion. What's happening? Money is changing hands. If you look at the market cap, which is altcoin market cap, it currently shows you that it is in a bearish pattern. We have not yet managed to break that to the upside. But when you look at Ether on a short term, you do see that's breaking to the upside from a symmetrical pattern. Now, yes, you look at Bitcoin, it's breaking to the upside. Then you see like, okay, asset like XRP, it broke to the upside, but you're not getting that much volume with the breakout. Look at the volume. It does not actually reflect like a lot of traders are interested in this asset, right? We had this round at bottom, we came up, all that is true, but we are not getting that amount of volume. We need to see the price breaking through and the FOMO coming back in. But based on what we are looking in the market, what we are observing right now in the market, do we think there is going to be a movement in XRP based on the volume? Because when we are here in the market looking at the volume, this is kind of one of the lowest levels of volume, 24-hour trading volume for XRP in like a couple of months. And I'm like, okay, that's not really a great thing to observe when the market has changed. For example, if you are looking at the volume for BTC last couple of days, it's increasing. So that is like some more money is coming into the market, but you see a lot of other coins moving in value. Some of them which went up is correcting right now, and few others are running back higher, breaking through all these different scenarios as we highlighted, right? So the market does show you concerns like this. And when we are looking at the market, the history, the macro, it does ignite some fire for this concern. But if a company needs to move forward, it do have to go through the adoption phase, the building phase. And that's something what we are observing here, which is actually a positive news. But again, that's fundamentals. Long-term scenario. If we need to understand what's happening in the market right now and what's the current outlook, we'll have to break these down. That's what we're going to do here. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Now we are looking at the market, we are trying to understand how these things are actually moving, and we're like, okay, yeah, some of these assets are moving. We are following BTC right now, looking at the volume. See, here what we are observing right now is like you don't actually see a lot of increase on the short-term horizon, but when you actually move on, you are seeing significant amount of volume coming into Bitcoin. Because if you actually go on to a macro scenario, you do see like, things are changing. This is like a weekly chart, and you can easily understand like there is pressure which is being built in this ecosystem. So if on a weekly it is showing you that it is going to go up, first thing first, I'm looking at this and asking the primary question like, okay, I do see that the ultra short term moving averages are crossing bullish. So one of my concern at that time most likely again would be like, as usual, if we are crossing to the downside, when are we coming back to test those moving averages, which usually happens in the market. So if you are focused on that, if it's me, I would look for a retest of 20,000. But again, this is crypto market. Short term, there can be a lot of volatility. Right now, when you look at Bitcoin, you're like, okay, the bulls are strong. They're pushing the price to the upside, as we can see here. And we have a massive range here. Okay, remove this shit. Okay, we have a massive range here, which is like a vacuum, which will be like a vacuum here because we got resisted here. We tested this as support. So this is a big supply area, which is like a major support resistance zone. So now, when we are following this, now the primary question becomes like, okay, are we looking to see a breakthrough this? Most likely that should be the case. Because when we are on a macro level, removing all this, it is easy to recognize something, right? We came back this much and right now we are bouncing. And whenever we bounce with such momentum. It actually happens to follow the history. And what's the history when you're breaking through these patterns? It actually gives you an idea of how things are evolving or the bulls coming back into the market. But yes, you will still see a lot of bears highlighting this is going to be a range where we get rejected, but they highlight you this range. But in reality, we also have a lot of resistance up here. So first we need to break through the 25, right? So in that sense, if we are looking at the Bitcoin market on the short-term horizon, this is what we are primarily looking at. And we actually had the price wicking all the way up here previously. Say that was like, on an hourly candle, which was a little bit more clear. We went back, faked out, went back immediately into this level. So notice that how quickly that came back into the previous trading range. So this was the range in between we were trading. This is actually a positive news, right? This is the range in which we actually were trading. We came back into that. But after that, you did that again, but immediately went back up. And if you zoom into that, before you went back in, you actually made a price action which suggested that it is forming a double bottom. And if you are zoomed in to understand what's happening there, that's the double bottom giving you a WV win, right? If you are entering, you're winning on that time horizon. Fine. Now that you broke that to the upside and you're moving up, you have first range to retest here, which is a weak support for sure. It's just a wick to the upside. You don't have too much orders in that area. But if you come back here, retest this and bounce, now that's going to be a huge win. But again, we all know that we broke this level. We didn't have any retest for $21,000. You go back down here, you observe that previously when we had this range, we broke that to the upside and we retested that level before we went up. So here the momentum is really high. We are going up. Now notice that how the price is moving higher continuously and the RSI is moving to the downside. So the strength is literally reducing on a shorter time horizon. You're actually getting this pattern. Fine. Now to manage this, you need to understand, okay, price can still go as high as 25,000 and still be in this trend. So if you see the price going up, now don't think for a second that, okay, we may not actually get a retest to the downside. Now, it's possible, it's completely possible the price can break through this, go to 30,000 and then drop to 20. But if you think there's a lot of people who bought in this breakout, most likely they would be taking their profits by the time you reach this resistance. Now, why is that? You go on a macro scenario here and you're zooming in on macro chart. Fine. Now you see your pattern which you broke to the upside. Now you know where you're going and your target is clear for you. So if you are a trader or a short-term investor, you're looking for this. Okay, 40 to 50% run, and you most likely would be following that, and you're like, okay, by the time we reach 25, close to that, just above that, you are taking your profits. Great. So we will see sell pressure coming into the market by that time. So we'll have to see how the buy sell walls are evolving. Now you can actually look at various different exchanges and you will see how that's happening here. Right now, you'll actually observe that the market is showing a lot of different orders coming in, the sell, buy, and that's how the market is being made, right? People put their orders. And on the other side of this, yeah, Bitcoin is moving higher. We are following the altcoins. And if you put this narrative clearly, you're looking for the resistance here. And if you be conservative, you're putting a little bit higher, saying, okay, let me see whether it's really breaking higher. But right now, if you follow the exact path of what the price action is doing, you're like, okay, the RSI suggests that there is something evolving. We may actually get a break higher. Right now, you haven't actually done that in the price. So if we happen to get a breakout here, that's actually bullish. But again, remember, just as you break higher, you happen to have a couple of resistance. So this breakout, if it's not going through this level, it can be a fake out. the market can still do a 5% move and come back down, because after which you literally have another level here, which is now like 15%. So what are the two major levels we can look at? One, if we manage to break directly through this level, a 5% move or above that, now, okay, that becomes a support, but we want to make sure that that breakout sustained. If it's coming back down this range, it may not be good. But if you actually do a 10% day in the altcoins, now that's actually good, because you enter into this territory. Now you have this as a resistance, and you may come revisit this level as a support, which kind of erases this pattern, which is bearish here. Remember, the RSI is showing you a bullish structure. MACD is suggesting a bullish structure, so this wouldn't be surprising. But again, first we need to see if we break this level to the upside or not, because as of now, this is a rising wedge, which is bearish. So we need to first see this level breaking to the upside, or now you are looking for a correction in the market. Now, if we drop, what would that be? It's another 10% to the downside. Now, you can actually plot different levels of support, looking for this and saying like, okay, even if we break this to the downside, it's immediate support here on the trend line. So if you are a trend-based trader or an investor looking at the chart, now you would be more concerned about the trend line, where you will actually say like, okay, we are breaking this trend line to the upside, which is actually a macro bullish structure. So we should most likely continue higher to test these levels, because we have our support range here and we have around a 50% move to the upside. Now that, with Bitcoin moving towards the 30,000, kind of joins in the same way. But what's the one thing which can actually delay us? Now I think we are going to go there. The question is when. With the macro events happening this week, you're going to see like in a Fed coming out, Bank of England coming out, the ECB coming out, all these rate hikes or pause or whatever it is, what they are doing now will impact the market. So we want to really know what they're doing. If the Fed is actually going for a 25 basis point or anything below 50, that is still considered bullish, because they don't have too much room to push this higher unless they go on start a new war. Now the old one hasn't ended yet, but they would like to push this towards the range where this is a world war, right? That's the way how I see it, because the way the head of Russia told you, like if they support them with equipments, blah, 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 that's not going to be good. And I'm like, okay, now these countries are actually doing that. So we'll have to see how the macro plays out. But right now, looking at the price action, the pattern, what anyone in the market can say is like, okay, we broke higher with a momentum, which has not been present in the market for a long time. And right now, the market is raising all these movement here. We are coming back up to this level. So that is a bullish scenario. Now, you are a wave guy and you're counting the wave structure and saying like, okay, we actually got A, B, C, D, E, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is normal, which is actually a good thing to see. Say, for example, if you actually use the tool directly from there, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, you will actually see this happening, which actually for me, it clearly means like, okay, that shows me something. What? You had a downside move, which is actually right now completed in the market. So that's actually a positive thing. If you're actually looking at that, now ask that question. If that's done, now what's the next structure? There is going to be an ABC, right? Usually that happens in the market. So if we are looking at this side, we actually had come up, we did this, and what happened afterwards? We got the corrective session. We got this ABC. Fine. After which we got this, the opposite direction. Great. Now, if that's true, now we really want to see an A, B, C pattern, after which we are going to follow to the upside. So this is going to be interesting. So to put the current idea into perspective, imagine like, okay, we did the structure here. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We completed that range. Then what happened in the market is like in the macro, you can say that's an ABC correction. But inside that, if you observe the downside momentum, you can actually say, okay, we did this structure here. We completed this downside, after which we moved up. So if you are zooming in to break that structure, you will see how things evolve. So we are like, okay, if we manage to break this level of resistance, which is here 30,000, close to that, that now is a signal that the wave 3 is on. So you got wave 1, you got wave 2, and you're going for something new. Now, everyone will have different perspective, but one thing is common, you're going to run to the upside. So if you are here in the market and you're observing this and asking like, okay, there is a trend line being formed here, which is not bad. And what would be the highs? People put a lot of big numbers inside this, but understand everyone will have different opinion. And if you're running up this month, the next month, you are looking for like $100,000. That's it. Now, if you have different opinion, like you say, like, okay, we go to 30,000, we come back down, we fluctuate in that area for an extended period of time, then you're looking for something bigger, 120. But by that time, you will see altcoins running a major move to the upside, because right now we are at that verge of breakout. We are waiting to see how things evolve. We really want to actually see Bitcoin moving to the upside, but we need to get a confirmation that we break to the upside and then confirm that level as a support and then bounce. So you need to be waiting with a lot of patience. Now, being frank, XRP right now, you have the MACD, which is negative, which is suggesting like I can break to the downside, right? Unless we get a bounce here, that's not bullish. Now we have RSI, which is suggesting, okay, short term, I'm about to move to the upside, and then you slowly move in and you're like, okay, fine. It is showing you there is a possibility that it can actually retest this range, and which is actually okay. That's like you went up, now you're correcting here, you can continue back to the upside. So we need to first see volume coming in, pushing the price back up to test 0.43 and breaking that level. Now, it's going to be a long wait and a ton of patience here for XRP holders, because right now we all know the market is moving. We are literally observing every day a lot of different assets are moving to the upside, breaking the targets. If you have measured moves, that'll be surprising to see like, different assets are hitting the targets. We had like, our calls on that one, SAN, and the fundamentals are still there. When you see macro banks, big banks investing, that's all fundamentals. But what's key here in trading or short-term investing, which a lot of people call is like you need to know your targets. And once you are aware of those targets, now you're taking profits at those levels, because the market can go the other side after that. We don't know, but it's better to have that ability. What's the outlook here? The MACD is about to cross to the upside. That's on a 4-hour chart. The RSI is suggesting I'm moving to the upside. Price was about to break higher after forming a rounded bottom. So now we have similar pattern evolving in the market, and that's one of the reasons why we actually see a lot of different assets starting to break higher, move higher. So if you received value and you're looking for something like that, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, if you received value, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys in the next video. Bye bye.